There exists a noble beast born in the final years of Khan Malvina Hazen's rule, and one which was an attempt by its designers, visually, to undermine the master of the Mongol tactics' influence within the clan. Clan society is rife with symbolism, and this is used as a mechanism to bring about change inside of their daily lives, or an attempt to shape the mind of warriors in their formative years. And this mech was meant to do just that. In this video, we are going to examine the Ilclan era juggernaut that is the latest in Jade Falcon's vicious arsenal. The Jade Phoenix. An assault mech weighing in at 85 tons, the Jade Phoenix, unlike many other more avian-themed designs of recent times from the Falcons, was designed to appear more noble in its bird-like appearance, rather than the more raptor-like, vicious appearances they had recently taken on. As mentioned earlier, this is as a result of the Phoenix being designed by the civilian cast of Clan Jade Falcon, as a hopeful way to bring about change to the warriors that would pilot it, to inspire them to look towards a better era, and to be stronger, more honorable warriors. The grim horror of Malvina's rule, the Mad Falcon, had been disastrous for the civilian casts in the clan, and that said nothing of the endless parade of crime she was responsible for to anyone within her reach outside of the clan. Internally, the Jade Phoenix was almost meant to be an act of defiance against her rule by its very design. Unfortunately for these machines, the Phoenix, deployed in 3148, would march to their Khan's orders and participate in an act that would sully any idea of honor being associated with the design, at least at first. No mech appearance would change what Jade Falcon had become, and the Phoenix would be there on Terra, piloted by Mechwarriors loyal to one of the worst butchers in the recent history of the Inner Sphere. It would fall beside her as well, as most of her Falcons would be killed in the final battles for the capital of the Republic of the Sphere, and it was there for the final defeat and subjugation of Clan Jade Falcon by Clan Wolf. What was left of this once mighty organization, first used from within by their own Khan, and then spent ruthlessly until their final defeat at the hands of Alaric Ward, was a shadow, a miserable remnant of what had once been the apex of clan society. Malvina herself would only live long enough to suffer the humiliation of defeat, but not long enough to suffer under the wolves as their puppet. Those who remained behind reconstituted themselves into a new successor of Clan Jade Falcon, purging themselves of Malvina's bile. And like a great phoenix, they would begin the process of rebirth into a newer, more noble form. And the Jade Phoenix itself, once felled, would rise once again within its clan, prepared to prey upon their enemies once more, in the noble ideals that its creators originally had for it. Built conceptually to be a workhorse assault mech for the Falcons, it meant that the Phoenix had to fulfill a series of qualities. It couldn't be too slow, too poorly armored, or undergunned. As a result, it is a battle mech with many compromises, but one that has many advantages as well. It reflects the peak of Clan Jade Falcon's design for the Dark Age and early Ilclan era. Powered by an immense 13.5-ton Clantech JF340 Fusion XL engine, this hulking machine can reach a maximum speed of 64 km per hour, or 6 movement points in the tabletop game, which is adequate for most strategic operations, even for these later eras. It can respond to situations as needed, or make breakthroughs. A great many of the Omni variants use jump jets as well, giving it a major edge in terms of maneuvering, especially in its A configuration, with its improved jump jets letting it leap up to 210 meters. Why so far? Because it has a partial wing system installed, increasing all of its jumping abilities by +1, meaning 30 meters. This results in other configurations where it would only be able to jump 4, it can actually jump 5, which is vital for survivability, as jumping 5 hexes or 150 meters in game make it a target significantly harder to hit. This 85-tonner can most certainly seem like it can fly, just like a Falcon mech should. Because of how pod space works, the Jade Phoenix comes, in its most base form, with 13 clan double heatsinks. This results in 26 cooling. Funnily enough, its wings once more play a role in its cooling as well, as when it's in a normal atmosphere, they cool the machine by an additional 3, meaning that it, under ideal conditions, has a base cooling of 29. Pod space, for Omnimechs, is how much room there is on board to install its modular Omnipod systems into the mech. It determines what most configurations can do. Battletech being lighter means this space is often made the most of. In this instance, the Jade Phoenix doesn't have the most pod space for its tonnage, but it does come with 37 tons of space, which is respectable, though not impressive. This means that its variants need to work extra hard to make the most of its tonnage to yield the best battlefield outcomes for the design. The configuration designs largely succeed at this. In the latter days of the Dark Age, weapons of extreme power have become increasingly common. In the instance of things like hyper-assault Gauss weaponry, heavy Gauss weaponry, and the proliferation of dangerous clan PPC technology. This means what was once impressive for the Succession Wars, or even the clan invasion, is less impressive for this era. Though not awful, the Jade Phoenix comes with 13.5 tons of clan ferro fibrous plating, giving it 259 points of armor to protect itself. This puts the Jade Phoenix into a reasonable space, but it is by no means an eternal warrior on the battlefield. Heavy weapons will be able to deplete it and its capabilities with time and effort. The configuration listed as being the Prime Phoenix is one which is in essence a giant sniping machine, with a mixture of 3 vicious weapon systems which will shred and erode enemy potential very rapidly. First, it has jump jets on board, allowing it to reposition quickly and easily as needed, especially with the help of its wings. To help keep it cool as well, 5 tons are expended to install 5 double heat sinks to the design, increasing its cooling capacity to 36, though in normal atmospheric conditions this would be in fact 39. Located in its left arm are a pair of clan ERPPCs, which alone is a devastating duo of decimation. Clan ERPPCs do 15 damage each, and as we've mentioned before, are head clippers. These also do enough damage that they can seriously smash their way in and through enemy armor plating at range. To back these up is one of the most horrifying inventions of the latter eras of Battletech, which is the Hyper Assault Gauss 30, which will shred enemy targets with ease, especially after they've been softened up by the ERPPCs, crit-seeking or punching through already weakened armor from the PPC shots it's fired at its target. While this is by no means a perfect design, it is a lethal one. The surprising nimbleness of its frame, jumping 150 meters every turn as well, can be quite shocking to deal with, as the assault mech leaps as if it were a medium mech from the Succession Wars. Omnimechs can, and do, radically change in their roles as per configuration. The A modification is no sniper, but is instead a ruthless, extremely maneuverable brawler. Despite being slightly undergunned for 85 tons, it's just incredibly fast in the air. It can leap 210 meters, or 7 hexes, every turn. This makes it 4 more difficult to hit in the tabletop game, which for something this big is extremely impressive. This performance is delivered by its wings and its 6 improved jump jets. To start with its damage-centric weaponry, to soften up and utterly smash its opponents, this Gliding Goliath has a clan Ultra AC-20 autocannon with 10 full turns of ammunition. There are few weapons more horrifying, especially on something that can move relatively quickly and can ignore terrain features for the most part on its approach. Each time this cannon sings, it can kill a target outright. If both shells hit, it might even knock its prey over from the sheer weight of damage. Twice. Backing this up is accurate clan pulse weaponry, with a large pulse laser, medium pulse laser, and small pulse laser all mounted in the left arm. The latter of these systems is potentially to deal with pesky infantry or battle armor, though it is effective against mechs and vehicles as well. Hitting like a brick being dropped out of an aircraft, even if it had potential to hit with more force and had not opted for mobility, this bizarrely quick 85-ton machine is a nightmare to deal with in close, especially for slower moving assault mechs or heavies. The B is in many ways a more traditional design. It still has jump jets of course, but it installs twin Gauss rifles, with one in each arm. In its right and left torso, it deploys a single improved heavy-medium laser, which is a reasonable pair of backup weapons for its size and purpose. This design is much better in a hot environment, and once more plays its role as a sniper in many respects, even though it's officially listed as a skirmisher. The C variant makes the discovery that missiles and melee are effective. Equipped once more with jump jets, it's still quick in the air for its size. First, it has a pair of talons added to it, giving it a vicious kicking ability in close, as well as a flare for death from above attacks, doing significantly more damage in both modes of attack due to its physical add-ons. In the center torso, it has a pair of ER medium lasers. Then, for missiles, it has a barrage of SRMs with a pair of SRM-6s, and one is mounted in each side torso. The main system to fear, though, is its pair of ATM-12 missile launchers, with one mounted in each arm. While all of these rockets are impressive, and offer the Phoenix options, as well as a massive ability to crit seek, this design does suffer from severe ammunition dependency, and has limited volumes of missiles to fire as a whole. It must be able to resupply quickly, and it cannot afford long, drawn-out fights, if only because it may run out of ammunition, and be left only with its medium lasers and talons. When it goes for a kill, it must do so efficiently and quickly. The only official variant without jump jets is the D configuration, and it's very similar to the Prime model, insofar that it has twin ER PPCs. Instead of the HAG-30, it has a traditional Gauss rifle with 3 tons of ammunition, giving it a longer shelf life in battle. It comes with 3 extra double heat sinks rather than 5, and it installs an ER medium laser to the center torso. The main benefit to all of this is the installation of a clan targeting computer, making its Gauss rifle and ER PPCs more accurate. It still fulfills the sniper role, and does so in an excellent way, but this particular Phoenix doesn't have the mobility to escape a bad situation so easily, should it find itself cornered. The E has the need for speed. A supercharger is added to the design, making it a runner as well as a jumper. In addition to this, its weapons are very simple. Clan LBX-20 autocannon is its primary system in the right arm, and is backed up by several ever-horrifying plasma rifles, with 2 of them being mounted in the left arm, allowing it to engage both mechs and infantry. This variant is a brutal skirmisher and brawler, as well as a superb vehicle killer, and as always, a mech hunter. The Jade Phoenix is an out-of-the-box design for its weight. Nimble and fast, it can avoid damage in many cases as if it were 10 to 20 tons lighter, and carries the firepower of a mech which might be smaller, but is still significant. Its physical attack characteristics are that of an assault mech, and it is relatively heavily armored, though not excessively so. It's a series of compromises, but all ones that still result in a machine with a superb set of features. It must be a shocking display seeing something as large as an assault mech flying through the air at speed, avoiding incoming fire as it returns with a hellish barrage every turn, before lurking back into the shadows, or watching it charge through nearby terrain, jumping and dodging its way in, before shredding through mechs like a raptor tearing into a carcass. It was built to be the best of Jade Falcon, and it embodies this in many ways, because even if it has a more noble appearance, it is every bit as savage as the Jade Falcons have always been. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I do updates very frequently and you'll be very happy with the content, I think. Also, a huge thank you to all the YouTube members for this channel. When you hit the join button and become a member, you take an extra step in supporting the content on this channel, and I can't thank you enough, because this content is only possible because of viewers like you. And with that, I will see all of you in the comment section below.